Tune in to Talking Law with Attorney Daryl O'Neill and the special guest host, Attorney Jerome Payne. Live TV talk on your digital device, on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. Download the SVP TV app right now. Check us out every Tuesday on Comcast Cable, Channel 17, 8:30 p.m. And we are live every Friday on Facebook Live, 6 o'clock in the evening. You've got a question, our attorneys have the answer. So let's talk law with Attorney Daryl O'Neill on the SVP TV network.
Welcome to Talking Law with Daryl O'Neill. I'm your host. I got my main man with me, Jerome.
What's up, Daryl?
Man, another day in the neighborhood.
Absolutely.
Man. So we need to give our shout outs.
Always.
You know, Miss Debbie told me that there is going to be an SVP TV app, and that you'll be able to download that actual app in about 2 weeks.
That's right.
So you'll be able to download that app to your phone, and you can see these shows live on that app.
And you can carry us wherever you go.
You carry us everywhere. You carry us anywhere you want to go.
Sounds good.
But you can always, if you got Roku, Fire Stick, Apple TV, you can always see us live on those.
That's right.
And then we also show up live on YouTube Live, and we're on Facebook Live.
Right.
And we're doing Facebook Live, and you guys see us, and we're looking right at you.
Right.
And we can answer your questions.
In real time.
So welcome to Little Rock.
Yes.
Welcome to West Memphis. Welcome to Shelby County.
Yes.
Welcome to Mississippi.
Yes.
And Mom, I know you're watching. Welcome to the great state of Missouri.
Hey, Mom.
So we had a question, and this question involved property rights.
Okay.
And the question was a unique question, and so we're going to say shout out to that caller who asked that question.
That's right.
So shout out to you.
And Daryl, she watches us all the time.
She watches us on Tuesday.
Yeah. So
the question is, she is a outside child of her father's who has died. He died 20 years ago, and the question is, what her estate or property?
Right.
Would she be entitled to ownership? Would she have lost ownership? What would she be entitled to, even though she's an outside child?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And it's probably several different parts to it.
Man, a lot of parts.
Yeah.
Ain't no several. It's a lot of parts to it.
But the most important part there is, yes, she's entitled to whatever the children who were born into the family are entitled to. She is just as much of an heir as they are. Do you agree with that?
I absolutely agree with that.
Okay.
But here's the problem, Jerome, and we'll back into this.
Okay.
The problem with it is she has a potential that she had timed herself out of her inheritance.
Oh my goodness.
So
and that's a very good point. Audience, no matter what type of legal situation that you're involved in, there is a time limit. It does not just go on and on and on.
Yeah.
So because the court has to have finality, the court has to have expedience, and it's called judicial economy. So make sure, if you feel like you have a legal issue, immediately contact somebody with legal savvy.
Yeah, I mean, so and I don't want to belabor this point, Jerome, but we talk about this every week.
All the time.
There's two things that happen. People don't want to come see lawyers because they don't want to pay.
Right.
And then people come see lawyers after they should have seen them before when they didn't pay. And so what that happens is, you don't come see the lawyer until after the mistake is made, and then you want the lawyer to fix up that mistake. And I got to tell you, sometimes it's almost impossible to fix
absolutely.
that mistake. And, time is the worst of all mistakes.
That's exactly right.
So, we have to go through the rules, intestate succession.
That's right.
And the rules. So when somebody dies without a will, then their heirs will take.
Well, they have a will because the state has given them one.
I like that. I like that. I like that.
So they have a will, and it's called intestate secession. And what that means is that the law has already determined if you fit in a certain position in this family chart. And so sometimes, I mean, like when we are talking to people about their family members, we actually diagram it out.
Mm-hmm. We do.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so we want to know what they mean by intestate succession is wherever the decedent was at, then he has heirs who are issues from his body, and so we determine where they will take.
Well, I like that. There's one heir that's not an issue from his body, and that will be his spouse.
That's right.
Because that person is also in that chain.
That's right. Exactly.
And so that chain works from spouse to children, and then it goes back up to parents.
That's right.
And then it goes down to siblings.
Oh, I like that there. It's a vertical move,
yeah.
And then it becomes a horizontal move as we meet different heirs.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it gets higher. I mean, so again, it goes spouse, children, parents, siblings.
Wait. So in other words, there you're saying that the parents would take before the children take?
No.
You said because you said spouse.
No. So spouse
to spouse, right?
Children.
Okay.
So.
Then you said.
Then it goes
parents.
back up.
Oh, if there are no children.
If there's no children,
I got you.
Then it goes up to the parents.
I got you.
And then if there's no parents, then it goes down to siblings.
I got you.
So. Yeah, I mean, I'm showing it based off life.
Yes. Yes.
So the mom and dad would be here.
That's right.
And then it would go down to any of their children. And then if they don't have any children, it doesn't go to their siblings. It goes back up to their parents.
Or if the child predeceases the parent, then it shoots back up there again too, doesn't it? Say they did have a child, but that child expires before the parents expire and did not have any children.
See, that's what you hit it on the head. Because it's funny you say that, because it would be parents, a spouse, parents, children,
right,
grandchildren.
That's right.
And no grandchildren. Then it goes back up to parents.
That's exactly right.
So grandchildren will be, grandchildren will be superior to parents.
Well, now there's suppose parents, child, to the child. The child is pregnant.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh.
The child is pregnant when the parents expire.
Mm-hmm.
So, what happens to the child the one who was the child was pregnant, and that now the child is born?
Mm-hmm.
Will that child take?
No.
Okay.
Because you remember that child's got a mother or mother in front of, so the mother.
Oh, that's right. The mother take. Yeah.
The mother will take 100%.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I was trying to get to what is a pretermere.
A
pretermere.
Yeah.
I can't even pronounce it. But the law takes that into consideration too. The child is to be.
Yeah.
Is also able to. Mm-hmm.
It's
inherit.
a per stirpes, because what happens is parents, and then children take what they call a per stirpes share.
That's right.
Of the property. But so if you have, and look, and what you didn't hear me say, what you didn't hear me say is spouse or parents, children. You didn't hear me say legitimate, illegitimate.
No, we don't get into that.
There you go. You didn't hear me say adoptive, non-adoptive.
No, we don't get into that.
We say children.
That's right.
Any issue that has been identified or deemed as a child falls into the children category.
That's very good.
So the fact that the lady was, an outside child,
that's right,
is irrelevant.
That's exactly
now,
right.
I think it changes. It would change if her dad died before his wife died, then she would not be a child and she would lose.
Because what the dad had goes to the spouse.
Their dad
and
had
so the spouse, so she's not able to inherit from the spouse.
Correct.
Since she's only the child
of his. Right.
Oh, that's good there. I like
now,
that.
Now, it in the intestate succession, she would get something.
Okay.
Because if he didn't have a will,
yes,
it would go to the spouse. The dad's share would go to the spouse, but then she would be a child that would still take.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. And so the spouse would usually take 2/3 right now.
The spouse gets 2/3.
Right, and then the children, wherever they came from,
will split 25%.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so that's what people don't realize.
Right.
Because everybody thinks that the children will split 50-50.
Right.
So what ends up happening, without a will, husband and wife are tenants in common.
Okay.
Which means that they share 50% of everything.
Right.
Okay? They don't have to have a will. They're tenants in common.
That's right.
Unless they buy, this is a whole other issue. We won't get into that right now.
Right.
So they're tenants in common. That means that regardless of who dies first, they both have 50% ownership.
That's right.
So if the husband dies, the wife still has her 50% ownership.
Right.
She just now gets 50% of his ownership.
Okay.
Because you right, she get 50%.
I got you.
And then the other heirs would split that 25%.
That's right. Okay.
And so the spouse would always end up with 75%.
And then there, suppose they die simultaneously, or one of them lives a minute or 2 minutes longer than the other. That could change the whole dynamics.
It is.
And so that's why it's very important too how they pass away.
Yeah.
Because sometimes and that's why, and that may be why they have time of death.
They do.
When they.
Well, I mean, time of, and that's the reason why, if a husband and a wife were in an accident
That's
and they
right.
both die in an accident, they consider the simultaneous death rule.
Okay.
That they both died at the same time.
Okay.
Because they don't really know.
Unless somebody get a lawyer like Daryl O'Neal and he go and pull the record, and then the paramedics can pronounce.
Yeah, the paramedics say that the mom was still breathing, or the dad was not, or something like that. Yeah,
and we can tell that because you said they would say, well, 2 milligrams of Demerol was issued, or was bagging.
Right.
Bagging,
yeah. They're doing something.
That's exactly right.
They're doing some resuscitation efforts on behalf
and that changes the whole dynamics.
It does.
Right.
And again, I was actually having a conversation with the DA about a case involving, estate planning or estate issues. And she says, oh my God, am I going back to law school? I just can't do it right now. And it was kind of funny because I was like, well, yeah, because,
That's exactly right.
Because that is real, because, and here's the thing that people don't realize in estate matters. Mm-hmm. If I own a hair of the estate, I got one teeny beeny hair of the real property. I can live in that property, and you can't put me out. And I don't have to pay no money. I don't have to pay no rent. I am an heir, and heirs never have to pay. Now, if heirs don't pay and the taxes get lost or the property gets foreclosed on or something of that nature, then they all lose.
I was about to say, Derek.
But nobody has to pay.
I was about to say, they can stay in there longer.
They can stay as long as
until they come and haul you out of there.
Until you ain't paying and they putting you out.
That's right.
Because the thing about it is, and I hear people say this all the time. I actually have a client that said, man, I offered them to pay the rent for this period of time, and I would give them the property. Dude, you can't charge them rent. They heirs. You can't. And the mom and dad wasn't an heir. The child was an heir.
Yeah.
but the child is an heir, and if the child is in a house, the mom and dad is free. They pass free too.
But audience, don't get disheartened because there is a remedy for him staying in there or her staying in there and not paying, and it's in Chancery Court, and it's called petition for partition.
Yeah.
And then that's how you resolve that issue. So you don't have to just keep on letting them stay there if they are trifling, don't want to pay nothing,
and
just want to live free.
Yeah.
The grass is growing up, because that's what we call waste.
Right.
They won't repair anything,
right.
And so we are never. The law is never for contributing to waste.
Right, and that's what the thing you have to establish on the partition sale. You just can't say, man, I can't get along with them. I want to sell the property. That's not how it works. You have to establish that they're wasting the property.
Absolutely.
They're not paying the expenses. They're not paying the taxes. Property's wasting away. It's looking bad. They're not doing anything.
Or it's becoming a drug haven.
Yeah,
something like that.
Something. Yeah.
That will get you a court date, and that will get a ruling in your favor. Partition.
It's not in your favor.
Well, just partition. You want to do something.
Yeah. And here's the nightmare to a partition sale. Most people don't realize.
Oh, you told me that before. Yeah.
The court orders the property be sold on the courthouse step. First come, best served, whatever. If they offer $10 for the property, that's what it goes for.
But the auctioneer doesn't have to accept that. It has to be a reasonable.
The court doesn't
amount.
tell her. The court doesn't give her an amount. That's why partition sales are good on paper.
Okay.
And most judges will allow you to see if you can work it out and get it sold through the proper channels. But if it's a constant headache,
I got you.
They're going to shut that down.
Right.
Get that thing sold.
Right.
Put it on the property. Put it on the courthouse.
Oh, I agree.
Get it sold.
I agree.
First bidder, best bidder. It's a wrap.
I agree.
Now, obviously, neither one of those people can buy the property. And they can't, inflate the bid.
I got you.
But shucks, man, somebody go out, they put it out there and notice that these properties are going to be sold on the courthouse step. You standing out there, man, you got a good $10 bill, you can get a piece of property.
Well, I don't know. I don't know about that, Darryl.
Well, most courts don't force it that way.
Well, even with that, if it's a decent piece of property, the bidders are going to set them out. Because if you bid 10 and I've seen the property, I'm going to bid 15.
Oh yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
That's if I'm in the game, I know.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, but if I'm not in the game,
right?
Then I'm the only person out there.
You're the only person out there bidding,
man.
Then I got you.
I got 10 on that.
Did you know they don't do that anymore now?
What?
They don't do it on the courthouse steps.
They doing it by Zoom now, don't they?
No, they do it on court. They got a hotel where they do the sales now.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Let me tell you about that. It's one of the...
Is that the same things to the land bank and all that? Is that different?
I think it's different.
Okay.
So instead of shouting in the courthouse stairs now, they do it in a hotel.
Hold on a second.
So we're going to have to investigate that.
Okay, I thought somebody was saying. I thought they was.
I heard them too.
I see the numbers up there. I just can't see what they're saying.
But yeah, that's a nightmare now because you could wind up at the wrong place at the wrong time trying to prevent a sale, and the sales have moved now.
Yeah.
And so be very careful about that. But and I always say that the law has a remedy that you have to access the court system to get it done.
Right. And let's go to this. Let's go to this lady's question.
Okay.
Jerome.
All right.
You said that did she ever lose her rights? And the short answer is no.
Okay.
They're hers.
Okay.
I mean, she's an heir, and we just showed you guys how that heir thing works out.
That's
so she's an heir. She gets the property. But I said to Jerome, you can lose that property through time.
Oh.
So here's what I mean by that. They have a couple things that are out there. One of them is called adverse possession.
That's right.
And adverse possession just means that somebody else has held themselves out as true owner of the property. Mm-hmm. They've done all the things, pay the taxes, take care of the property, fix everything up, do all these different things. They just don't have the title.
Okay.
And because they've done that for a period of time, the court says they're the owner.
Now, well, that is true there, because if you allow someone to openly And notoriously, what we call it is that they got a sign up, they put a fence on it.
They put a fence around it. Yeah.
So the law does not allow you to sit back and allow it to happen, and somebody can wind up being the owner of your property.
And look, there's an argument on that if you know the property is mine because you're my cousin,
that's right,
or my sibling, you can't adversely possess it because you know that I exist.
Okay.
So there are some nuances.
That's a good point.
However, there's another statute that kicks in, and that statute says if you haven't paid taxes on a piece of property for 20 years, you have lost your right to claim that property as yours.
Whoa.
So our caller, her issue is that her father died 20 years ago, and she hadn't been contributing to the taxes, hadn't been paying the taxes, hadn't been paying the things. There is an argument that she have lost her rights because she did not. You say it best, Drum, sat on her hands for 20 years.
But how likely is it for there not to have been a tax sale notice?
Somebody else
over
is paying
20
the tax.
years.
Somebody else is paying.
Oh,
that's what the issue.
So that's why you're not getting the tax sale notice.
Yeah.
Okay,
somebody else is paying the tax.
I got you. Okay.
Or they paying the taxes because you trifling. You don't want to pay it.
Right. I got you.
My brother's paying the taxes because I don't want to pay it.
And there are so okay. So now we know that it's been 20 years. Mm-hmm. We know that she is, and it has been determined to be an heir. I still believe that there's an opportunity for her to claim her rights.
It is, Drum. But let me ask this question, Drum. I'm glad you said that. How is it fair if nobody she's not in the chain of title?
Okay.
She's out of the chain of title, right? And and we'll explain that one of these other days.
Okay.
But she's not in the chain of title. I sell that property. You buy that property. How is it fair that now that you own that property, you have to give it back up to somebody that was not in the chain of title, didn't know anything about it, didn't have a clue about whatever? They did a search and couldn't find anything.
Oh, you just took my answer away from me, because I was saying to myself, that's why you have a title search.
Yeah, they did all that, and you're nowhere in the title.
I got you.
Because you sat on your rights for 20 years, and nobody included you in the title because they didn't know the list of the children that this man had.
Right.
So you have sat on those rights. 20 years has passed. Somebody else has bought the property. Somebody else has been fixing on it, working on it. You said, no, you didn't lose your rights. I think that the law protects me as a person who did everything right and I didn't know.
But Darryl, how likely is that situation for someone not to know about this person who's been around for 20 years? Unless they were in a coma somewhere, unless they were out of the country, somebody knows. She was at the funeral.
Well,
her name is in the obituary.
I'm not certain. We're not certain that that's true.
But then, I mean, how can she be
because think
in the
about
dark for 20 years there? And she now say this. She just found out her daddy is dead because they had banned her. They don't communicate with her, and they wouldn't let him. He was sick. They never called, never said that. So she just found out.
Yeah,
now,
but how does that change the scenario of the good faith purchaser who did everything they supposed?
It may not. It may not.
Now
change
she may have she doesn't lose her cause of action. It's just who that cause of action goes against.
I agree with that.
She can't get that property back because the property's gone.
Well, also too, Darryl, we talked about that too as well. What has the new owner done with it?
Paid for it. That's what the new owner's done. Paid for it.
But he's not developed it.
I ain't got to.
He might have a drawing to do something with it, but it's still sitting there. Nothing has been done. I don't know why you couldn't unravel that.
Who gonna pay my money back?
The estate.
State didn't spend that money, dog.
Well, maybe not.
Shoot, man, they got that
because
money.
Look, as long as you can put the person back in the place where they were, you might be able to do that.
See, I think the court protects that person.
Okay.
And you got to protect that person. I did everything I was supposed to do right. I did a title search. I got title insurance.
That's the argument. That's a good argument.
I talked to the person. They asked for $1. I paid them $1.
That's a good argument.
And even though the land, I ain't done on the land, it's just sitting there, it's still mine.
But
it's appreciated.
But there is a legal entity in Tennessee that deals with equity.
Yeah.
And that's Chancery Court. And equity means what is right and what is wrong.
I like that.
Equitable.
Yeah,
relief.
but
Give me equitable relief.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You know, and there's always been this argument that equity follows the law. Okay. Because you've heard that before.
I've heard it many times.
You've heard it many times. Not necessarily agree with it, but you've heard equity follows the law.
All the time.
But how do you weigh the thing of a guy who's done everything they're supposed to do right, and the person that didn't know they were cut out? How do you? Because we're both innocent.
Both innocent
participants.
Yeah,
we're innocent participants.
That's right.
And I think the law really sides on the person who bought the property.
You might be right with that.
And the person who lost out on the buying, they still didn't lose their cause of action. Right. They just got to go after the smuck that ain't got a pot to piss in on the window to throw it out no more, because they ain't got no money. That money gone.
You might be right there, because again, as you said, this person has done this person has dotted every I across every T. It's been what we call a good faith, bona fide purchaser. Yeah. I think at the end of the day, the scale is probably going to tip in that person's favor.
Yeah, I look, is it fair? Because neither one of them have any culpability.
I agree with that.
Neither one of those people.
And there we call that in the law clean hands.
They both
show up in court with clean hands, and so that's would make the chancellor pull their hair out. How do I rule in this situation? It's actually a Solomon matter. You know Solomon in the Bible, where the lady was trying to get him to kill the baby because she killed her baby. Her baby died in the middle of the night, and so she claimed the other woman's baby. And Solomon said, "I tell you what, bring the baby here, put him on the altar, and we're gonna split him in half." So the woman whose baby it was not said, "Yeah, let's do that. Give it half." But the one whose baby was, "Oh no, don't kill him. Give it to her." And that made Solomon know who the real mother was. You never heard that?
I think I have. I didn't hear it. I don't think I heard it that way.
But ultimately, that's what made Solomon such a great. His wisdom was greater than anybody who's ever lived before, and so they both show up on his step with the live baby, they both claiming the baby. Is that your baby? Yeah, it's my baby. So I know my baby when I see him. And so he says, well, this is how I'm going to solve it. I'm going to cut the baby in half, give you half, and give the other one half. And the one who was not the mother said, "Oh yeah, go ahead.
That makes perfect idiotic sense to me.
Yeah, give me my half.
Yeah, I just take my half, my dead half, and go.
Right. But the real mother said, "No, give him to her." And so he knows who the mother is based on that.
Yeah, dog, that's deep. Yeah. That is. I mean, and the court. That's kind of how the court looks at it.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, you're innocent. You got clean hands.
Right.
But the court has to say,
so does this person too.
Yeah. And this person maybe have more skin in the game because they gave their money away.
Right.
We don't know. We can't find it.
That's right. They're not able to give it back.
They did a title search.
Yeah.
They signed the documents.
Perfect.
They did everything they're supposed to do.
Perfect.
What else is they supposed to do here?
That's when the chancellor goes behind the bench and flip the coin.
Well,
heads, tails.
Now if it's a warranty deed.
Oh yes.
If it's a warranty deed. Yeah, because if it's a quitclaim deed, it's a wrap.
Oh,
you got what you got.
Yeah.
But if it's a warranty deed,
Oh, that's interesting. Then the title company is on in it.
well, there's an argument that the title company was the one that said there's nobody else.
That's right.
And they don't have clean hands.
Right.
Because their whole job was to
Make
protect.
sure that the property, in fact, was clear.
Yeah.
The title is clear. That's
So
right.
the court could specifically say, but you got to sue the warranty company too, though.
Yeah.
If you don't sue them, then they're not a party. But you sue that warranty company, there's an argument that the courts say, you know what? Give them their stuff back. Warranty company, you owe. So whatever the appreciation is and what all this other stuff you got. But this guy here that bought the property
he's
has a
supposed to-
great argument, even if it's a warranty deed, I am bona fide purchaser.
No question.
And the law says bona fide, good faith, bona fide purchaser gets protected.
No question.
Because I ain't doing nothing wrong.
Right. Right.
And the court wants, or the law wants property to move freely.
Absolutely.
They don't want property stagnate.
That's right.
So I said all that to say that the only issue that, child that's not.
What there? You can't say only issue.
No.
Out of all these issues.
No. I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
One of the issues.
One of the major
Most of
issues.
them.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues.
This plethora of
issues. But one of the major issues
Right.
is time is your enemy.
That's exactly right.
And because time is your enemy, if you sat on your rights for 20 years, you may have lost your rights in that property because time.
Oh.
However, you have not lost your right to pursue the people that sold that.
I just thought about something else
What's
too
that?
there.
What's that?
It's a minor. She was a minor when this happened. And she had a disability.
Well, the only thing that does, I like
that preserves.
No.
It doesn't
It doesn't preserve the loss.
Okay.
It preserves her time to sue.
Right.
So you got two different issues here, because infirmity and minor, which is the same thing,
Right.
is it only preserves the statute of limitations to bring the cause of action.
Right.
It doesn't preserve the fact that good faith bona fide purchaser bought the property. It just preserves their rights.
But it's going to make a difference between the bona fide purchaser and this minor who was a minor at the time, who had a disability, who was infirm, and so now they have recuperated and they're better, and that's when they found out that I own this property.
That's a tough argument because again, we still got bona fide, good faith bona fide purchaser. All right, y'all. Miss Debbie, give me the Miss Debbie eye. So, all right. Thank you for watching the show. We'll see you back next
Tune in
week.
to Talking Law with attorney Daryl O'Neill and the special guest host, attorney Jerome Payne. Live TV talk on your digital device, on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. Download the SVP TV app right now. Check us out every Tuesday on Comcast Cable, Channel 17, 8:30 p.m. And we are live every Friday on Facebook Live, 6 o'clock in the evening. You've got a question? Our attorneys have the answer. So let's talk law with attorney Daryl O'Neill on the SVP TV network.